Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Mindfully Rich podcast, your weekly look at life, money, and everything in between, where we're redefining what it truly means to be rich and live a rich life. On each episode, we'll have honest conversations about building wealth, renewing your mindset, and living a life on purpose and intentionally. So, whether you're listening on your morning commute, your evening walk, or somewhere in between, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm your host, the Gina Ritchie Richardson. Now, let's jump into today's conversation. Welcome back, y'all. 2 weeks in a row. Okay, for all my day one listeners, y'all know back in the day had to practice that consistency, and we back. I just wanted to say thank y'all so much for listening, all of the downloads. I could tell that y'all are happy that I'm back. They're just continuing to build, and so all I want to do is just make sure I'm just putting these episodes out so that y'all can get all this good information, because I have so much to say, and I'm just glad that y'all are here for it, that y'all listening. And I just also wanted to tell you, guess what? The podcast is now on YouTube. So for all my YouTube listeners, for those of y'all that like to listen there, go ahead and search the Mindfully Rich podcast. Subscribe. I need you to be one of my subscribers, okay? Subscribe so that way you'll know when the episodes drop, and you can also listen and support the podcast over there. Trying to build my YouTube audience up. So go ahead, spread the word, share, share, share. Okay. Share, share, share. Need everybody to do that. All right. And so I'm super excited to jump into today's topic, because I want to talk about why health is wealth. I've been going through it, y'all, with my health this year. And so I'm going to be vulnerable, let y'all into my life, let y'all know what's been going on, and talk about the importance of your health and why it's important for you to invest in it, make healthy deposits to it for your wealth. Because if you want to be here to enjoy it, you better make sure that you are making some healthy deposits into your health. And so a lot of people, they work, 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 work. A lot of people are not paying attention to their health. They're not doing preventative care. They're not going to appointments, things of that sort, or know what their numbers are. And so in my journey, I too fell short, and I didn't know. And so I'm going to start in the middle, and then I'm going to go back to the beginning. And so in March, I made a vow to myself that I wanted to start working out consistently. And I wanted to do that because I had gained some weights. Okay, some weights was waiting. Okay, and some things were happening with my body that I wasn't liking. And so I said, I'm going to start working out. The good thing about that is that was around the same time that one of my friends, who actually is a trainer, who used to train, she used to have her clients and everything like that. She just wanted a workout buddy. She said, hey, I know that you got some goals. Come on to the gym. You could work out with me. And I was like, bet, because when I go to the gym, child, I don't be knowing exactly what to do. I just go up in there, step, and that's all it is. Okay. I didn't know how to do or combine any of the workouts. Now I know with ChatGPT, with IG, all of the people on YouTube and all of the other social medias, the apps, there are so many different ways that I could have figured out how to put together workouts. But I was so glad I got a chance to train with her, so I can learn and I can see and I can understand, because she gave me the logic behind it, how to work different body parts. It was just such a great experience. And so for 3 months, I was waking up at 5 to get to that gym by 5:30. Okay. I was feeling stronger. It was feeling real good. Child, I'm not a morning person. So me being at the gym working out, I was like, baby, this is different. Okay. This is definitely different. But I was enjoying it because I was learning so much and I felt good. I had the energy for my workout. But after that workout, after I would get my breakfast and work, by the end of the day, baby, I was finished. I was so fatigued. I couldn't do it. I was like, absolutely not. Because I was only getting about 4 to 5 hours of sleep. And doing that for 3 months straight, y'all, I was a mess. I couldn't focus. It was bad. I had got out of the rhythm of cooking, and look, the girl cooks, okay? My food is good. Do you hear me? With a T. All right. And so I had got out of the rhythm of cooking. I was buying too much food out. Now, it didn't feel like I was eating too much food, but I was spending all this money. And of course, processed foods, anything that you're getting out that you're not cooking at your house, is not going to be as healthy as it would have been had I had my butt in this kitchen, get my food together. And so here I am thinking, oh, I'm making all these good deposits to my health by working out. But it was counterintuitive because while I'm working out, I'm now eating out more and I'm not getting enough sleep. And you need to get good sleep when you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to improve your health. And if I'm not doing that, then what am I doing? So I had to take a step back and I had to say, look, I want to improve my health. And working out was one of the ways that I was starting to do that. I can still work out. I just can't work out at this time because my life be all over the place. I be doing all type of stuff. Your girl be out here, okay? Lots of stuff be happening. I love line dancing on Wednesday nights, but it don't end until like 11:30. Child, who waking up to go to the gym at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, hit 5:30? Who waking up to go to the gym after ending line dancing at 11:30, getting home by like midnight, then not getting to bed till like midnight 30? Baby, I wasn't able to do that. So I had to just tell myself I have to be okay with going to the gym at different times, but still making sure I'm making those deposits to my health by going to the gym. So as long as I get there and as long as I get 45 minutes to an hour doing some things that actually help me towards my goal, the cardio and strength training, then I'm doing good. So that was an assessment that I had to make because I knew I wanted to make the investment into my health and I knew I needed to make good deposits. I just had to reassess and change the times that I was doing it. And I tell y'all that story just because I'm pretty sure there are some of y'all out there that heard that and was like, I'm trying to get into the groove or going to the gym more or doing this, doing that. Because going to the gym and working out is not the only way that you can improve your health. That just happened to be one of the deposits that I wanted to make. So if that's something that you want to do, just try it out, child. Okay, because now I'm on month, what was that, March? March is when I consistently started, and I'm still going with it's July. So I'm still doing good. Right now, I'm all over the place. I may be at the gym at 7 a.m. I may go at what's that? 5:30 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., as long as I get there. And if you're someone who's looking to get healthier in that particular way, just look at it as I need to try it out and I need to see because I can tell you from experience, it takes some time to find what's going to be that consistency for you and that works for you in improving your health because you got to make sure you're getting that sleep. And that was something that I learned. I need at least 7 hours of sleep. And I'm gonna tell y'all why that's all coming up because I'm tracking myself now, but we're gonna get to that. But it's like you have to define why your health is going to be important to you. Like what does wealth mean to you or what will it mean to you if you're not healthy or if you have all these types of ailments and you're unable to enjoy what it is that you've been building. So to me, wealth is having energy now. I want to make sure I got good mobility. Child, let me tell you about these knees. I used to be a cheerleader. Okay, so I feel like I used to be way more mobile than I am. I need to sign up for somebody's yoga or Pilates class. Probably Pilates is would help with the mobility, but I'm trying to get better. Now my knees don't click clack as much as they used to. Okay, because I'm doing a little bit better. But they still got their times, okay? But wealth is mobility. Wealth is peace of mind. I want to make sure that I have peace of mind. And peace of mind is coming with knowing that my health is in order. I want to make sure that my mental health is in order. I want to make sure that I'm getting good sleep. I remember back in the day, I can remember them people was like team no sleep or something like that. Child. At 41, baby, I need to sleep. I need, like I said, at least 7 hours. 8 or 9 hours give you a better Gina. I'm just gonna be completely honest, okay? But I need to get my sleep, so I prioritize making sure I get my sleep. Wealth is also having strength and being strong. I do want to make sure that I strength train so that I am strong so that I can live long. Okay? That all comes with it because I know that I won't be able to enjoy any type of wealth if I don't have longevity. And that all starts with the investment that I'm making into my health. And in talking about the investment that you're making into your health, the cost of poor health. Now, this is when we about to really get into it, okay? And so I want to start off with a few facts. So I did have to write down a few things, a few facts that I found on Beyonce's internet. And so I found that the US spends more on healthcare than any other high income country. And Americans struggle with paying their medical bills. Now let's talk about medical bills real quick, okay, child? Because baby, everything expensive. Everything is expensive. And another fact that I want to go to, chronic diseases such as heart disease, cancer, diabetes, those are the leading causes of death and disability in the US right now. And they account for about 5.3 trillion in annual healthcare costs. Also, more than 850,000 Americans died from heart disease or stroke in 2000. And look, was I about to say that? 2024. I think I was about to say 2024. Ciao. 2024. And cardiovascular diseases, they cost the healthcare system over $223 billion annually, and cost projected to approach at least $2 trillion by 2050. Okay, I'm giving y'all all of these numbers because we're going to talk about them. Another fact I found is nearly half of US adults, it says about 48.1%, have high blood pressure. And in 2000, why I keep doing that? In 2024, high blood pressure contributed to more than 680,000 deaths in the United States. Yeah, that just had me thinking. And then the last fact on that, people with high blood pressure have about $2,759. That's real specific. More in annual medical costs than people without it. All right, so I want to talk about that because in talking about high blood pressure, that's ailments. And talking about all of those high healthcare costs, right? Just because stuff is expensive. I want to tell y'all, remember I said I started with the middle, but now I'm going back to the beginning. So back in November, I was going to go get one of my iron treatments. So I'm iron deficient. I'm anemic. I don't want to claim that. I'm just going to say at the time I was anemic. Okay, because I'm trying not to claim stuff because I'm trying to get the irons better. And I'm going to tell y'all what I've been doing to get my iron better. But back in November, when I was going to go get my iron infusion, I ended up having to go to the emergency room because my blood pressure was so high. So what happens is, for those of y'all that don't know, when you go get iron infusions, they check your blood pressure first before they start depositing the iron into you, just to make sure that you all good. So when the lady took my blood pressure, now I'm just gonna be completely honest. Oh, I walked in this place and literally everybody had somebody there with them. That pissed me off. I was like, I didn't got so many different iron infusions before. I ain't never walked in the room and everybody had somebody there. I'm like, they ain't even tell me that I could bring a guest. Because if that was the case, I would have brought somebody. So I walk in and I instantly, oh, it's making me cry thinking about it. I instantly was brought to tears because I was just like, I'm all alone. And it's like, it hits me a certain type of way because if I'm being vulnerable, it also makes me think about not being coupled, but also it makes me think of my mom not being here. My kids weren't able to be there at that particular time. And this is the thing, right? I have support. I have people. I could have called people in a second. And specifically, you know, my good friend, she ended up coming. I ended up telling her about what was going on. So she ended up coming up there while I was going through the high blood pressure scares that was happening. But it's like I wasn't aware, and it's like it just kind of caught me off guard, and I got kind of in my head, and I'm not too sure. That's a whole nother episode. That's therapy in another episode. But I get there, I'm already throwing probably my blood pressure off because I'm getting all riled up inside of myself because I'm looking at this, and then I sit down, and when the lady take my blood pressure, it was like 160 something, 170 something. Then they got to 184 over 119. I ain't never seen them numbers before. So they was like, okay, your blood pressure is dangerously high. We're going to have to roll you on over there to the emergency room. So I'm sitting here doing everything that I can because check this out. One of my good friends is a nurse. I don't waste no opportunity to get her on the phone, okay? If something is going on with me, I get her on the phone. I also have another friend. He a doctor. Okay. And I be bothering him. So I'm sitting there on at the time I didn't have his real phone number. So I'm at the time I'm trying to get with both of them. I'm hitting up my nurse friend and my doctor friend. Yo, they saying that they take me to the emergency room. This is what the numbers looking like. What y'all think? Okay. Cause I already know emergency room costs. And I wasn't really wanting to go over there because I'm like, did I die though? That's what I'm feeling in my head. But it's like my blood pressure's high. I wasn't dizzy. I wasn't showing any other signs. Like I didn't feel anything. But that's what scared me the most, that I can be experiencing such high numbers for my blood pressure and nothing feel different on me. So then it made me think, have I just been operating at this rate with these high numbers for such a long time that I don't even recognize something is wrong with me? And that was scary because what if I pass out? Because blood pressure leads to heart attack and stroke. So what if I would have had a stroke or I would have had a heart attack, but I wouldn't even had a sign to show me that because I'm so used to operating in a zone where my blood pressure is high, where it doesn't alert me that something's wrong and I need to get these numbers down. And so I go to the emergency room. My good friend, she comes up there with me, stays with me and everything, child. It took a while for my numbers to come down, but they eventually came down so that they can let me go. But that was a big wake up call for me, and that was in November, where I had to make that decision of, girl, you gonna walk around here with high blood pressure and take these blood pressure pills, or you gonna figure it out, right? And that took me admitting to myself, baby, you overweight. Okay, now I'm cute. Ha, look, I'm real cute. All right, I'm also thick, but I'm also overweight. And so I had to make sure that I understood, girl, you're overweight. This being overweight stuff is going to lead to other stuff, which led to the high blood pressure. And if I didn't want to keep the high blood pressure, what was I going to do to make sure that I bring that down? Do I want to keep being cute, thick, high blood pressure, or do I want to be cute, in shape, at a good, healthy weight where I don't have high blood pressure? And I'm choosing, of course, not to have high blood pressure, which is the reason why I started going to the gym consistently so that I can use that as one of the ways that I'm trying to improve my health. And so I want to go back to another fact, especially since we're talking about high blood pressure. So people with high blood pressure have about 2,759 more in annual medical costs. I said that earlier, but I'm saying it again because if I didn't pay attention to my health and I allowed myself to stay at a place where my blood pressure would be high, not only am I spending more money, but I'm also shortening my life. So I'm going to be spending, I'm trying to build wealth. So I'm going to be spending the money that I'm trying to build the wealth from and also shortening my life. What's up? Is this worth it? Is what I had to ask myself. And if you're somebody out there who's dealing with that, you do have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Right? What are you going to do? Once again, going back to that word, deposits. What deposits are you going to make into your health so that you can get a good return on your investment? I didn't want to be stuck paying for all of these medications. I didn't want to do that. So I had to figure out what was I going to do. And that's what I've been doing, right? I'm not going to say that I'm perfect or I got it all figured out, but for the most part, I've been making those healthy deposits. and I've brought my blood pressure down. Like I had to get the blood pressure, what is it, the cuff or whatever. I bought me one on Amazon so that I could start taking it because I was taking the pills and my doctor only gave me like a month. I think it was like a month supply. It was like a month or 2 month supply. And so after about a month, I had started taking, oh my goodness, I don't have these things over here. It was something I got on Amazon. Um, Dang, it's something with grapeseed oil in it, and I can't think of the name of it. Dang, I can't think of the name of it, y'all. But I had got these like gummies, and I started taking those along with working out, along with drinking more water, along with eating beets in my smoothie. I started looking into what are the things that help high blood pressure, in addition to me knowing that I needed to lose weight. But I started doing all of those things and taking my blood pressure daily, and my blood pressure started to come down. So I was nowhere near as high and as dangerous as it was when I went to the emergency room. And when we talking about like the cost of poor health, because yes, high blood pressure, that's poor health, and that's something, a category that I fell into. So I can say that going to that emergency room, baby, let's talk about that for a second because we're gonna talk about the cost, all right? Especially if you're calling yourself trying to build wealth, you don't want all that money going towards healthcare costs because healthcare stuff is expensive. Going to that emergency room, even with insurance, it was still a G. I got about a thousand something dollars for that emergency room visit. When I tell you, I was like, absolutely not. We gotta make sure that this health is together. Cause I don't want to be having too many more of these $1,000 bills that I gotta pay. It made me miss when I had TRICARE, okay? Because when I was married to a military man. So child, I go to the emergency room 3, 4 times in a day and wouldn't have to pay a penny. Okay, TRICARE used to pay for everything, child. Okay, I don't know if they still do that because I ain't been on TRICARE since 2019. But they used to pay for everything. I didn't pay a dime for nothing. But now that I'm a civilian, I'm out here in these streets paying for my own stuff now with these civilian medical insurances. Child, even with my insurance, still paid over $1,000 for that emergency room visit. That's a lot of money. Okay. And for some people, that'll break them. Some people living so tight in a budget that baby, you can't cough wrong. All right. So $1,000 something, that irritated me. Although I could pay it, I don't want to pay it. Do you hear me? I don't want to pay any unnecessary bills because that felt unnecessary to me because I could have been making healthier deposits into my health so that my return would be good. But instead, my return was high blood pressure because I was making deposits into poor health. And so that's why we're talking about this today because I want you to realize how making healthy deposits into your health can help you spend less towards your health. Okay? You don't want that. Even though for those of you who have health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, you still know them copays, they add up because stuff is expensive. All right. The medical industry expensive. I just read y'all the numbers. So even still with having insurance, these copays ain't nothing to play with. So you got to make all of the healthy deposits that you can into your health so that you're not spending extra money to go towards paying for medical bills. Okay. And even with having, I want to talk about that for a second. When you do have health insurance, right? Whether it's your medical, your dental, or your vision, baby, you got to pay attention to them explanation of benefits. Like what I think it's EOB. You got to make sure that you're paying attention to that. Okay. Because even still, with insurance, you still got to look at all of those cost breakdowns just to make sure that they ain't overcharging you. Because I know I ain't the only one that done been overcharged. Child, let me tell y'all what. Okay, I'm 41. I went and got my mammogram back in February. And I got my mammogram at the same place that I got my mammogram from last year. Last year was my first mammogram, right? And I went back to the same place. They sent me the little card. Y'all know how I go. Hey, time for your annual exam. And I'm like, up, I'm on my way. Now, last year, I ain't had no problems. This year, when I went, I had a problem. Now, for anybody that then ever got a mammogram, A mammogram is literally 30 minutes from when you step out your car to when you get back to your car. It take about 10 to 15 minutes when you get in a mammogram. And that's just going to depend on your boobies, child. And that's just literally, it just do. Okay, because they take an x-ray. So if they see something, they want more x-rays. They're going to have you to the side, on top of the machine, all of the things. Okay, they got to make sure that they seeing everything to make sure that you good to go. Okay, and so all you do is do that. For a mammogram, you don't see an actual doctor. You just see a tech. The tech has me. Everything's cool. I leave. Why don't people send me a bill for $11.25? Baby, when I tell you I called them people so quick, look, who y'all talking to? Baby, I got insurance. I came to this same place last year and everything was on the up and up. When I called the company, they was like, oh, the doctor that reviewed your x-rays or your mammogram, whatever the thing is called, they're not in network. Okay, well, that's a y'all thing because I came here last year. Ain't nobody informed me and ain't nobody say nothing about that there was a doctor in here. So some of the doctors in here is in network and some of them is out of network. I didn't see a doctor. Okay, that's y'all bill at this point. Okay, because y'all should have gave it to the doctor that was in network. I didn't do that. So you see what I'm talking about. You see how nuanced some things can be. You got to pay attention. You got to ask some people, hey, y'all covering this before I get this service? You got to make sure that you are aware of how much it's going to cost you when you are having a medical procedure. I'm trying to protect you and your money, child. Okay, so make sure that you're asking all of the questions. Okay, look at everything. Make sure everything is itemized. Make sure you understand it. Call your insurance company. Make sure your bills are correct, is all I'm saying. And in addition to that, making healthy deposits to your health. So you don't even have to be getting certain things. Now, the mammograms, we got to get. That's a healthy deposit into your health, okay? Me getting this mammogram, making sure everything's on the up and up, so ain't nothing wrong later on. That's something that you should be doing. Okay. But when I was talking about me with the high blood pressure, I did that. Okay. I could have been at a healthier way. I could have been eating the things that I need to eat to make sure that I was in a healthy zone. So I messed that up, right? So when you are in that position, right, you are at a place where your health is showing it's in a poor state, right? But you want to improve it. Paying for your medical. So like having different resources to help you with paying for medical bills, right? For those of y'all that work, I don't know how this work when you don't like work for an actual employer, like you not on an actual W-2. That's what I like to call it, W-2 income. When you're not on the actual W-2, but when you work for an employer, there's something called a health savings account. Some of the medical plans come with a health savings account where you're building up contributions, and all of these are pre-tax. And it's money that goes into an account that you can use to pay for your medical bills. Definitely make sure that you're looking at that because it's mainly for people who have a high deductible health plan. So make sure you're looking at that. Now, my favorite, the FSA. So I have a flexible spending account. So what I do is I designate a certain amount of money each year to go into this account, and I can use this account. It's like a debit card. Like the one that I have is like a debit card. And I know the FSA you can get whether you work for an employer or not. It's the HSA that I'm not too sure of, but back to the HSA. But I'm sorry, back to the FSA. For the flexible spending account, I use mine like a debit card and it comes in handy. For my vitamins, my supplement, my feminine products, medical stuff, like it really comes in handy. Like I didn't order Target, CVS, and everything with my FSA card. So you designate a certain amount of money for medical expenses for the year. That's pretty dope. So if you don't have one, I definitely would suggest you look into the FSA, the flexible spending account, because you can designate what that money looks like, and that's pre-tax for those who are working jobs. Now, for those of y'all that are self-employed, I do believe that you can get this FSA. You're just gonna have to look into it. You're gonna have to Google it, Chat GPT it, whatever it is that you go to get your information. I think you should go check it out. But definitely something to help you because for that emergency room bill, guess what's paying that? My FSA. Yes. That is definitely paying that. And it's also good because you can jot out thinking about your health and all of the deposits that you need to make these healthy investments into your health, right? Thinking about what it is that you're going to have to get for the year. Knowing that health is wealth, knowing that you're going to have to do something. With the FSA, you can plan and say, I'm going to go and get all of these things throughout the year. Put that amount of money to the side in an FSA so that way you're financially being responsible for knowing the things that you're going to get and you can already pay for them. And so I know I didn't talk a lot about that, but what am I doing today? I want to kind of go into what I'm doing today. So I told y'all about the high blood pressure, also told you about me working out. I'm still trying to get to a healthy weight. So currently I am on a journey to lose 30 pounds. At least I know the amount of pounds that I need to get to. Let me tell you the biggest revelation that I've had. Now, my doctor friend, he had already told me this, but I had to be hard-headed, and it took me to be hard-headed to come on back to this, right? Remember earlier how I said one of the deposits towards my health I was using was working out. But I also realized that if I'm working out and I'm not looking at my nutrition, then the working out that I'm doing means nothing. So I had to make sure that I was keeping up with my nutrition and eating the right amount of nutrition that I needed in a day. So I use Net Diary. It's an app. So I track all of my calories, all of the things. Like I literally I scan the package, so I make all of my food, so I'm meal prepping. So I scan the packages so I can get whatever the nutritional values are of whatever it is that I'm eating and put the amount, how many ounces, how many cups or weight, what have you. I even got a scale now so I can weigh my food. So I've been eating better than ever for the last 8 days. When I tell you I've been under, so when I use this app, it takes my weight that I'm at now along with the weight that I want to be at, and it tells me how much I can eat in a day, how many calories I can eat. It also gives me how much protein I need in a day, how much iron, how much cholesterol, what my cholesterol should be, what the total fat, da 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 da, all of those things. And so I had to do that for myself in starting to track my food so that I can make the right deposits to building a healthier Gina. Because I realized I was just like, wait a minute, okay, the working out, that was one deposit, but tracking my food is the biggest deposit that I could have been making. And I was so irritated that I hadn't been doing that. And so now I'm doing it. When I tell you, I feel so much better. I feel a little lighter, not too much lighter because I'm still thick. Okay, we coming down though, but I feel really good and it keeps me accountable. In addition to that, I have an Apple Watch. So my Apple Watch helps me with tracking my workouts and also my steps that I'm taking throughout the day. Also got an Aura ring. So the Aura ring can also come in and help me where the Apple Watch doesn't. The Aura ring helps me with tracking my sleep. And ciao. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to take a whole nother episode to tell y'all about the stress that it tracks. But the Aura ring helps me on the sleep side of things and helping me with making sleep a priority. It's been going really well so far. And so that's what's going on with myself when it comes to making healthy deposits and investing in my health because I want a good return. What does that look like for you? What is it that you need? Because I'm pretty sure that this episode is coming right on time for some of y'all. Some of y'all are like, man, I've been thinking about getting healthier. And I'm here to tell y'all health is wealth, right? If you are not healthy enough to be here to enjoy the wealth that you're building, maybe you won't be here, right? You will be building that wealth up, which some of y'all don't mind. You'll be building that wealth up for your people, for your children, for whoever is next in line. Okay? You got to make sure that you are healthy enough to be here if you're trying to live, right? So I want you to ask yourself this question. If your body sent you an invoice today, what would it say you've been investing in? I told y'all earlier, with me having high blood pressure, I had not been making healthy deposits into my health. I had been depositing into creating ailments for myself. And then I ended up creating a bill. So I created ailments that created a bill. What are you going to do? What are you going to do so that you are making those healthy deposits to your health, so that you can be here, so that you can live, so that you can enjoy the deposits that you're making into your health to enjoy the actual wealth that you're building? So what does that look like for you now, right? For those of you listening, do you need to make a doctor's appointment? Do you need to drink more water? Do you need to go get that mammogram? Do you need to just check on yourself and see where you're at, so that way you could figure out, how do I eat healthier? How do I lose a few pounds? How do I, some people need to gain a few pounds. What is it that you need to do so that you can make sure you're depositing good deposits? Let's say that you're depositing good, you have good deposits going towards your health. I forgot to mention going to sleep earlier, child. Okay, that's a challenge. That's a challenge for me. I don't know who that's a challenge for, but it's definitely a challenge for me. So, as I've been talking about revamping the podcast and living a richer life, I wanted to talk about something that's really important, which is health, right? And bring y'all into my world and what I've been going through and what that commitment has required me to do. Because if I want to invest, and I'm saying this, I'm going to always use myself first. If I wanted to invest in my health, I had to make good deposits, because I want those deposits to pay off for my future, because I want to be here. I got kids. I want to make sure that I'm able to see them through every single moment of their life. I don't want no ailments taking me out before I'm supposed to leave, because I want to make sure that I'm able to be here and enjoy the life and the wealth that I'm creating here right now. Now I know I got riches in heaven, child. Okay. Now, you know, I believe in the Father now. I know that I got riches in heaven, but while I'm here, I don't want to do nothing that's going to take me out earlier than I need to leave. So I want y'all to think about that. And so, child, that's all I got. I've been talking, and this episode was some. It was deep, telling y'all a little bit about myself. I'm pretty sure some people can resonate, but I want y'all to make sure that you're thinking about that. And yeah, that's all I got. I ain't got no more. Make sure you check me out on YouTube. Search the Mindfully Rich podcast. Also, I changed the @ for Instagram. Is the Mindfully Rich podcast. If you're already following, you cool. But if you new and you ain't following it, child, check me out, the Mindfully Rich podcast. You could also support the podcast. So if you're a fan of the show, I have it wherever it is that you're listening at. You can click it. If you would like to support the show monetarily, you can. If you would like to send some fan mail, if you would like to ask a question, I do have where you can do that. You just got to check out the description and you should be able to click. But that's it. And until next time, when I hit y'all with another one.